That's a thing that Jordan and I used to say. He started it. But yeah, every day he'd say, today's a good day. And he said it until it wasn't anymore. But I felt like it was a fitting thing to put on his sign to remember the good days. I'm Gina, and my partner and I decided to pursue green burial for him when he was dying. He came along with me to a job, a landscaping job, and I kind of just off the cuff mentioned, and I was like, you know, there's this thing called green burial and you can actually be composted. It's kind of wild. And he didn't really say anything to me. And so then we were at this job a couple of weeks later, and he very casually just mentioned it to me. You know, I think that's something actually I'd be interested in. I'm like, well, what? He's like, I think when I die, I want to be composted.
So yeah, welcome to the first large-scale terramation facility in the world. Kind of cool. Here, I'll show you over here. My name is Micah Truman, and I am the CEO of Return Home, which is a terramation, a human composting company. We transform human remains into soil. We use a vessel. I think you can maybe see one behind me. Our vessels are 8 feet long by 3.5 feet wide by 3.5 feet tall. And we use organics, which are alfalfa, straw, and sawdust. We place a base layer of organics. We place the body on top of that, and we fill the vessel with the remaining organics at about a 2 to 3 to 1 ratio of organics to body weight. And we place it here in our, what we call front of house. And in that first month, it's pretty miraculous. The microbes in our body, the stuff that digests the food we eat, also transforms us back to the earth. So in 30 days, our body is, we call it terramated, and it's been completely transformed into soil, almost. Bone remains. We reduce that bone into 1/8 inch shards, very similarly to what they do in cremation. We reintroduce those bone shards to the soil. We let the soil sit for a second month, and we're done. And it's beautiful soil that we can then just give back to the family. If we were talking about cars or food, this discussion would have happened years ago. It did happen years ago. Let's have a cleaner, food chain. Let's make cars not burn so much fossil fuel. We're talking about dying. And so whenever we do that, the initial reluctance, it's really interesting. We have a very standard way of stopping the conversation, which is saying, that's weird, and so are you. And that ends our conversation. But what it really means is, could we not talk about this?
Had we gone down the route of a more traditional burial, it's just closure, it's looking backwards, it's put the lids on the boxes and put it away. And this is like ever unfolding and expanding. And there's a transference. Like the more people we talk to about it, the more people are like, wait, can I do that? Is that an option? And it inspires people to want to go into their garden. I mean, it just inspires people to connect rather than look away.
What we do requires discussion because people don't understand it. And that is the big change. The huge move that we're seeing is that our young people are coming to us. A lot of people who are young and have died are coming to our facility. Many of the young people, if they die suddenly, they don't, but if they're dying for something like cancer, they will often choose us personally and make sure that their family does it. So you'll have someone who's 30, and he says to his mom, you listen to me. I want this here in this way. And she goes, are you kidding me? And he goes, no, I'm very serious, and you'd better do it. And so we have families coming here going, my son told me I have to be here. And so those types of interactions and those things that we see are unbelievably powerful. It's our youth that I think are really showing our older people sort of a bottom-up approach to how we need to die better. And it's unreal.
I feel like cancer and death are kind of like avalanches, right? That you get swept away and carried away with. And everything moves so fast that in the end, ultimately, like, we didn't have a lot figured out by the time he died. He did not want to die. He was not ready to die. And he was 32 when he was diagnosed. It was something that came to me like almost immediately, and I knew that that was exactly what we needed to do. It's like, I'm gonna plant an oak tree. Like, I already know, that's it. Not only is the oak endemic and native to this particular area, but it's like a keystone species, so it creates life for like hundreds of thousands of insects and birds and all of it, right? But also, the oak symbolizes such strength and sturdiness and like stoicism and life-giving and peace, and those are all things that I really loved about Jordan.
Let's even cut closer. I'm 51, and with any luck, I won't die anytime soon, but when my mother does, she will come to us. So the answer is, yeah, I would. I would do it for my family. I would, without any reservation whatsoever.
Yeah, we had the funeral here, so we set up chairs like all along here is where the family sat, and we had a tent here shaded for families with kids, and then there was chairs here, and here was like 3 rows of chairs. And it makes the most sense that like those qualities that I loved about him get to live on with his help, you know? He's feeding the roots, and I think that's pretty awesome.